Alright, gang, welcome back to the Nutty Brewer series here on Normandy. It is August. It's been a minute since we've done a recording here, and we've been busy, really. Just doing some off-camera work. More specifically, we were working inside the brewery, getting it kind of cleaned up, prepped. Had to change some pipes out. They were just bad at this point. I had to make some other modifications to kind of get it up and running and get it prepped and ready to go here for what is essentially next month. So next month, the field up there on the hill will be ready to harvest, which means we can actually start creating some light beer in the brewery, which is very exciting. So I just wanted to make sure we got all of that set up. And obviously, it took a couple of months for me to get all that done. And really, there wasn't a whole lot for us to do otherwise, right? All of the crops are kind of in the growing stages. Now, you might be asking yourself, why are you plowing up the mustard field, Z? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, it does give us the full fertilization required for this field when we turn it into a winter wheat or a winter barley that we plan to do. Probably wheat. And then, for obvious reasons. And then the other option would have been to try to potentially harvest it. Now, the problem becomes, kind of initially that was my plan, was to harvest this. But evidently this map does not allow you to harvest mustard, which I thought it did. So bit of a mistake there on my part for putting the mustard in to begin with, but you know what, that's fine. We're getting that full 100% application rate, so it'll be a lot better off for us as we move along, I guess. We did waste a little bit probably in the long run by doing the mustard, but it's just a very long cover crop is really what we're going to be utilizing it at. Now, I could mow the mustard and obviously turn that into bales and then, you know, kind of go from there, but to do that, you would need money, and as you can clearly tell, we really don't have a whole lot of surplus money right now. We're, you know, kind of struggling a little bit when it comes to money. We've got $21,000 in the bank. It's not, we're not in the negative, we're not in the red or anything like that, so those are all good things, right? But the point still remains, we don't have a whole lot of money, so until we are able to actually get the brewery up and running, and to do that, we obviously need crop. We kind of have to make some, you know, decisions that maybe there would be a better approach otherwise, like mowing this, as I mentioned, right? But for the time being, we don't have that option or that luxury to do that. If I was going to go that approach, I'd have to buy a mower, then I'd have to buy a loading wagon or a forage wagon or a baler. All of those things, realistically, are going to cost more than $21,000. I can get a very inexpensive sickle bar mower we've used many times for cheap. But to pick it up, unless I'm doing the manual approach, and I don't really want to do the manual approach on this series, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's just not going to work out, so anyway, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're doing well. Like I said, it's been a minute since we've talked, but yeah, we're cruising, man. We're cruising along. Everything is now set, ready to go for next month, and next month, when that occurs, we are going to be, well, quite frankly, we are going to be sitting pretty, because we're going to have the brewery up and running, which means we can actually kind of get ready soon enough. It won't be probably until spring of next year, I think, at this point, but soon enough, we'll be able to open it up to the public and start getting tours, among other things, and start getting some supplemental income that'll also be provided because of those tours, right? Actually start opening up the area for selling drinks, of course, right? So we're going to have a little bit more money incoming than we currently do now. Right now, we're kind of in the let's build this thing back up stage, which we're just spending money, blowing through the money. But here by next year, in game year, we'll start actually producing money, and we'll have a little bit of, you know, supplemental income coming in every single month as well, versus, you know, just waiting until we can go and sell all the beer to a distributor, right? We'll be able to sell some of the beer at our own brewery. And then, of course, the tours will make us a little bit of money. It's not going to make us tons of money. It'll be more money of people buying stuff, buying beer when they're done with the tour, right, and buying stuff while we're there. So I've got a small area inside the brewery kind of set off there with merchandise and shirts and things like that. It's not very big. I would love to kind of expand that, but obviously we don't have the money to start putting in any kind of an expansion to the brewery yet. Maybe soon enough we will. We'll add a little bit of an area that it can just be kind of a standalone shop, if you will. I think that is a good idea to kind of aim for, but right now we can't do that. So we'll have to see how things move along here as we go along. So this field has been plowed up. Now, we really don't have a whole lot else to do today. There's actually, as a matter of fact, really nothing for us to do today. The only thing that we can do that I have not done, and it's a little boring, is, you know, fill up the brew with some more water, right? We started doing that in the last episode, but we just kind of filled it up a little bit. Didn't really do a whole lot, and then I just kind of let it sit there with the water that we had in there because, well, quite frankly, there wasn't really a reason for us to continue to fill that up right now. I might as well just work inside. But I can go ahead and, you know, run some more water there, certainly. But to do that, really I want to put something down for a water tank type of thing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here into the brewery, and I'm going to hit the office, which is kind of over here in the corner. It's just a very, very small little tiny hole in the wall office because there's not much room in this brewery, to be honest with you. It's a big brewery, but there's just not a whole lot of room in here, honestly. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to see if I can find somebody that can bring some kind of a water tank of some sort, or you know, drill down and get to a well or whatever it may be for us. So I don't have to drive the tractor and the trailer all the way down to one of those little creek beds there, as you saw, which is pretty far, right? I'd just like to have something a little bit more convenient. All right, gang, welcome to September. So I was actually able to have somebody come over here and bring a big, massive wooden water tank here. Now, it's not the most ideal situation for us, but you know what? It's a nice, long-term, temporary you know, addition, I guess is how I will put it. It should be sufficient for a little while. Eventually, we are going to need to make an upgrade, but really, we don't have a ton of money, right? So this was actually pretty inexpensive for us, and was able to have somebody come and fit it from last month to now. And so now it's September, of course. So that has all been taken care of. It should be mostly full. The 20,000 liters, excuse me, have been put into there at current. We'll continue to add more to it as we move along, but yeah, things are in a better state now, right? And we have that access point, which is really close to the brewery, which is what I said I wanted to see, and that helps us out tremendously as we move forward here. So I'm just going to park this right here for now, and this field is ready to harvest, so we can go ahead and jump straight into the harvester and get started here, which is exciting. Let me open the door here. Now I need to get the header, which is all the way over here. Can't really drive over there with the header on the front, so we're going to have to use the trailer here. Unfortunately, the fences are a little bit in the way. And those aren't really... I mean, they're going to probably change potentially later on in the series, as I mentioned, but they're not really going to go away, so we're going to constantly have to be doing this. We're going to kind of get used to this. Put the beacons on, even though I don't think anybody's gonna be coming here because this is all of our land right here. The only place where we might run into somebody is this main track right up here we're getting ready to come to. Only if somebody, a worker or a farmer, is going over that way, of course. We're gonna cut through the brewery area here just because it is a little bit easier to maneuver over here. Alright, well, I'm just going to run right into that fence. Good job there, Z. Way to go, buddy. Let's drive right back over top of it. My brand new fence that I just put in. Let's just run right over it. Alrighty, so we'll park that right there. Hopefully it's not in the way. If it is, we'll give them a friendly wave. I'm going to turn the beacons off. We don't really need those on anymore. And let's try to get this off here without killing any of our wheat here. We really want all of the wheat we can possibly get off this field. Now, the other thing to note here, this wheat field. We can drop straw. Now, the problem becomes we don't really have any way to pick up any of the straw right now. So, as much as I would love to drop straw and kind of, you know, start to collect that for bedding for the pigs, because we said we're going to do some pigs, right? I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of sense right now for us to do that when we can't pick it up. And my goal, realistically, is to kind of get this field reset almost immediately here. So that way we can get a winter wheat in the ground here. The barley is going to have to wait a little bit. We obviously need a little more incoming first before we start to do the barley. And start to do the amber or the dark ale, whatever they're calling it. Because we got to buy sugar if we're going to do that, right? And we're going to have to outsource some sugar. We're not really in a location where sugar would be growing anyway. No, I did not want to put that on a worker. So based off of all those reasons, we're just going to have to outsource the sugar whenever we want to kind of expand to do that. Now this harvester's got the what do you call it, where it tilts and everything, which is kind of cool. It just looks a little weird when you're looking at it from this angle, right? But it is kind of cool that it tilts like that. Kind of forms and moves around with the angles of the ground, right? The dips and the valleys and all that stuff. It's kind of a cool, cool physics approach that they've added in on some of these machineries. Now, I'm expecting this to be a relatively good yield. I mean, we did as much as we could, given the money we had, to try to make sure that that was the case. So I'm expecting a pretty good yield out of this. There's going to be a couple of little spots here where it won't be as good. I will state that. There will be a couple spots. It will be down there where we kind of missed the mark there on getting, you know, everything kind of set up properly. But it's just such a small amount that it really shouldn't make a huge difference. You'll see it kind of here on the return trip here of the Headland Pass. Haven't really looked inside this yet on the series, so this is kind of what it looks like in here. We've got an extra seat there as well, which is also a good thing. It's a pretty nice setup in here, pretty nice gig in here. Very lucky that we got this with the purchase, right? Very lucky we got this. Never really used a Fent harvester before until now. But I kind of like it. It's pretty nice. There's been some options in the used market. I've been kind of paying attention to the shop and calling them up, you know, and every month just checking on if they had anything used. There's some options that have popped out there between the last time we did a recording and now. So it's because it's been a couple of months, right? But nothing really caught my eye enough that I thought it made a whole lot of sense. And really what I'm trying to say is if there was something out there that maybe another harvester came out that was a little bit cheaper than the one we have now, maybe we sell it to kind of replenish a little bit of the money in the bank account, right? Or help pay off the loan a little bit, right? But yeah, nothing really caught my eye enough that I felt it was justified to go ahead and sell this. This is really the one that we'd probably consider selling of all of it. This, maybe the Vulture tractor, maybe, right? Those are really the only two I think that are like worth a bunch of money that we have. Everything else is relatively reasonably priced that I don't really think it makes a whole lot of sense. There's not a whole lot of justification to remove those, right? Or to sell those and downgrade to something else. But I'm kind of happy we didn't. I really do like this Fent. Doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to happen later on as we move along here. It just, you know, we're going to have to kind of waver the idea on if it makes sense for us to sell it or not, or if we continue with it. If something happens to come out in the used market. Speaking of the used market right now, there's a Dolzfar out there, pretty nice, but that's about the same price as our Vultra, so I'm not really going to focus on that too much. The Skoda, we don't really need a basic car. Forge mixer, I don't really need that either. I mean, we could use it, but I don't really need it. Now, there is a local kid who's been helping me out a little bit. I can tell you that. He's been helping me out in the brewery. He's been helping out on the farm as well. He said he was willing to come and help today if I wanted him to. So I think I'm going to actually have him work on getting the small field taken care of over there, right? We plowed that up last month. We're kind of doing this recording in 2 months, 2 different periods of time, but I felt justified enough that I should at least record part of last month when I plowed up the mustard field, right? So I think he's going to come over here pretty soon. Probably he said he's somewhere between 8:30 and 9 he'll be over here, and he should get started down there on that mustard field. Now, where we currently are, you really can't see much of that field, if any at all, really. But it'll be good for him to be over here helping me out a little bit, right? Because when I'm done with this, I've got to go ahead and obviously we're going to unload all this into the brewery and get that started, which is going to be great. But then we got to get this field plowed up, right? And then we can obviously re-drill it at that point. So it'd be nice to have a little bit of help. Now, I'm not paying him a whole lot. It's mostly kind of like an intern type of thing. He's kind of going to school for farming, so I do pay him a little bit, of course, but I've told him before, like, I don't have a whole lot of money to pay you, but I did tell him that, you know, if we get this brewery up and running make it successful, then you absolutely can have a job here. And so he was pretty happy about that. So it'd be nice to have a little bit of help as we move along here through this series, right? Help that I otherwise did not expect to have. Now it looks like we might be able to get everything off this field into the harvester, which is great. It'll be close, but that's great, right? That's a good thing. So now, one thing I'm excited to see is really how much pig food we're going to end up making off of this, right? A lot of you told me that have used this mod before, the brewery mod before, that the pig food is pretty crazy, how much you get out of it, so we'll see. Speaking of the pigs, I really don't know where I want to put the pigs at yet, right? I've kind of got to figure that out. If the pigs are going to be coming soon, based solely on the fact of if we're going to get that much pig food out of it, we got to figure out where we're going to put them. I don't really have an idea. I don't really have any inkling of where I would want to put them at, to be honest with you. The thing is, you know, if I'm going to make it kind of... Whoops. Where was I? If I'm going to make it kind of, you know, family-friendly, kid-friendly, whatever, it needs to be kind of away from what my initial vision is over here on the left side of being like the production area, right? Or the staging area, or the, you know, the loading area, whatever, right? It kind of needs to be away from there. Ooh, I think I see him over there. He must be over there working already. I think I saw him over there. Yeah, he's over there. You can see it in the far distance moving. We can just we can go out here and send the drone up really quick. Hold on just a second. Let me get the drone out. Oh yeah, he's underway. He's done a couple of things already. That's a little bit of a weird pass and turn there, buddy, but whatever. He's done a couple, so that's good. Doing some weird turns, but whatever. As long as he gets it done, I really don't care how he gets it done. It's just going to save me time and effort, which is good. Been a huge help though inside the brewery. Been a huge help, man. You know, I'm a solo crew here, right? So having a little bit of help inside to help move some of that stuff, because there's some very heavy things in there that we had to move around and fix and modify. Like I said, there was pipes and stuff we had to replace. It was a lot of work, and to be fair, I had to hire a couple of people to come in too, just to do some other electrical type of work. I really don't know anything about electrical stuff, so I'd have somebody come in and help me do that. But mostly everything else inside the brewery, we kind of did ourselves, right? This is going to be awesome. We've got 5,000 liters of wheat at current to put into here, so we are going to get this up and running right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on because this is going to be done any minute here. 2 more passes and we're done, basically. You know what? I better leave it off. Just in case we hit 9 o'clock, I better leave it off. I don't think we will, but you never know. Okay, the harvest is done. We've got to unload this. Now, I could, like I said, realistically unload it from the harvester. I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Let's jump into the case here. We'll go down and grab the trailer, and we'll unload into the trailer. We'll do this the right way. The way we should be doing it. I don't think I've asked you yet, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. Things are as good as they can be, all things considered. I think the last time we talked, I was talking about work, and at least for the time being, it seems okay. We'll see. We'll see. I guess in a pinch, if we needed to as well, we could probably... Oh, I didn't even know there was a flashing light back there. I guess in a pinch, if we needed to, we could sell this trailer for a smaller trailer too, right? I don't want to, but I guess we could. The case is struggling a little bit in this series, struggling a little bit, but that's okay. We still love this thing. We're not getting rid of it. It's sentimental at this point for Z's adventure. Always be with us. That was a little close there. Gonna have to make sure I remember to go to the other side of the hill, I think, moving forward with the harvester here. There he is. He's nearly done, actually, so he's doing all right. He's doing all right. He's doing all right. He's doing better than I thought he was going to do. He said he's done drillings before, so it shouldn't have been that big of a problem for him. I kind of showed him the ropes last time, but it shouldn't be that difficult for him. So clearly it's not, because he's almost done. So I think in this instance, I'm actually going to drop this off here. And I'll just utilize a tractor or something to move it back, because I think it's just going to be easier to turn. So we'll drive this back and put this away. Then we'll bring over the wheat, and we're going to get the brewery up and running today, which is exciting. Very exciting. Obviously, things aren't going to be ready for a little while, but it's very exciting. Okay. And let's get this turned around and go drop this off. So 7,171 liters of wheat is what we're going to be starting with here. It's a start. It's not going to make us rich, but it's a start. We gotta be careful of that roof. Alright, I'm gonna have to remember that moving forward. I didn't break anything, luckily. I thought for a minute there I might have broke something, but we got it. Alright, let's get this started. Okay, we should be underway. Now, there's nothing there saying that, you know, malt beverage is going to spawn, but supposedly it will, I hope. If not, I guess we kind of screwed up if not, but hopefully it does. I'm going to bring this back over here. I'm going to put this underneath the shed. Why not? Might as well. Like it'll fit. Yeah, it'll fit. It'll fit. Now, if you actually drive it properly, Z, it'll fit. Alright, so, what do we need? We need to plow the field up. We need to bring the harvester header back over here. And then we've got to get that field prepped. Plow it up. We've got to get some lime down on it. And then we can drill it. Okay, well, you know what we got to do. Let's get into it. So we're going to get this taken back, and then we'll get up here. Probably use the Vulture. Actually, we will use the Vulture. We'll get this field plowed up. And then we'll put the lime down on it, and we'll get it drilled. It shouldn't take a terrible amount of time to do all that. Really shouldn't. But it won't be a cakewalk. Alright, well, it turns out we need fertilizer, and really we need to get some lime, too. I don't think we limed the small field. We probably need to lime that, too, today. Lots to do today, really. A lot more than I expected. Now, the brewery is going. I don't know how far along we've gone here. I didn't see anything spawn yet, you know, for any kind of pallets of beer or whatever you want to call it. I didn't see anything spawn yet, so I don't know how long it takes to process through that. We've got a long way to go still on 82 to get that done. But yeah, we're moving along. It's making pig food, so I don't know. I don't really see anything that's going to, like, you know, pop out there, even though, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how all this is going to work. Maybe I should have tested this out first. I hope it spawns them. I hope it does. If not, we'll have to use our imagination a little bit here, right? Alright, so let's buy... We need solid fertilizer and lime is what we need. I'll buy 2 pallets. It's expensive, but you know what? It's going to be worth it. Puts us down to 13,000, but money we desperately needed to use anyway, so... desperately needed to use. Money we desperately... we have for whenever we desperately need to use it. That's the way I should have worded that. Which is now, because we're out of fertilizer in our drilling process, and we're nearly out of lime. I thought we were going to run out of lime, actually, as well, but we made it. Because we limed that field in the last... Well, not the last, but at the very beginning. It didn't need tons of lime, so that's the only reason. Somebody is using a broom over here. I don't see them, so they must be on the other side of the wall there. I don't see anybody. I don't know where they're at, but they're definitely brooming something. Sweeping something, brooming something, sweeping something. Alright, we're back here. I'm just going to go and hook that there. I'm just going to leave it there right now. We'll just kind of pull the drill up over here and kind of fill it up that way. Shouldn't be a big deal. Now, what I will probably do, though, is I'll get my intern, if you want to call it that, to work on the other field of lime. We'll go ahead and put lime down on that field. I don't think it's going to require a whole lot, and it should only take him a few seconds to do it, but... he should be finishing his lunch break any minute now anyway, so... Alright, we are back to full. So we can go ahead and get underway here. I'm just going to get it realigned here, and then once that's done... go tell the intern there inside the brewery to go and do the lime on the other field after this. Alright, we've got the worker down there helping us out, so... that field should be done in a matter of seconds, really. We'll get a notification that the worker has accomplished that job pretty soon. Look how dirty this is already. It's crazy. We're getting a really nice nitrogen color there on the ground there. As you can see, it's a real nice dark green. Well, I guess it's kind of a lightish green, but you get the point. It's a nice green, right? In comparison to where it was at, which is more of a red-orange, it's good. Means we're setting this up, and it's going to be a really good yield for us again, hopefully. Yeah, there's only 284 liters of pig food in there so far, so it maybe hasn't chewed through enough yet to really produce any kind of a pallet of well, there is something there. Is that pig food, or is that... That looks like pig food to me. Now, perhaps it's because I don't have... That is pig food. Perhaps it's because I don't have something placed down that the pallets of beer aren't spawning? I don't know. I need to look into that. So I guess we'll see, right? As things move along, I guess we'll see. But we've got the pig food going now, which is good. But we gotta get some pigs down. We don't really have the money for that right now, but we do need to get some pigs down. We'll have to work through that, right? We're gonna have to work through that. Perhaps I'm just wrong about how the whole operation works, and perhaps it just auto-sells the brewing stuff. I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, there's nothing... I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows. Somebody else I know, they said that they have used this mod before, so maybe they know better than I do, but... If it doesn't pop up, then we're going to utilize our imagination. And I've got some ways I can work around that to still say we're producing, you know, beer and things like that. You just may not see it or whatever, right? We'll just see how things continue to progress here on that. I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer and see what happens. There is the other pipe there that sticks out too, so perhaps there's something in that. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Anyway, we've got a few more passes to do here, and then this will be done. It should not take too much longer. Let's go ahead and get it done. and we'll see where we're at. Well, it would have probably been good, Z, if you actually hit the record button. It's just been one hell of a month here, gang. I apologize. Oh, boy. Well, we're almost done at this point, so I guess there's no real reason to go into a time-lapse now at this point. There's only a couple passes and we're done, so... I would suspect the worker completed the liming here. They did. There are some corners there that we need to touch up, but that'll take a few seconds to do. Of course, those trees are really causing some mayhem there for the workers. They're having a hard time with that. Anything else in the used market? Nope, nothing else in the used market, so it's just a formality now for us to finish this field and see what happens with the brewery, I guess. Because if we're not producing anything else out of here, it is going to take us a long time. So I did go ahead, and this is just kind of away from the story here for a minute, but I did go ahead and put this beverage outlet sell point down. Don't think it's going to make a difference, but just in case I missed something, I put that down. Didn't see it change anything. I did that before we started the episode, as a matter of fact, but I didn't see it change anything, so... yeah, I guess we'll figure it out, right? I guess we'll figure it out. If not, I've got some ideas on how we can use the imagination a bit to say we're selling a beer too, right? I've got some ideas that we can utilize for that too. Now, one thing I noticed in the growing stages here, which I don't think I really mentioned it before, and I don't think I really noticed it before, but the winter wheat and the winter barley take a lot longer than regular wheat and regular barley. So, you know, if we're doing the winter here, we're not really going to be able to put regular wheat or regular barley in here ever if we're doing the winter. So, what I'm trying to get at, I guess, is that I may keep couple of them kind of in an offset mark. In other words, we might have two fields that are winter wheat and barley and then two fields that are regular wheat and barley, so that way we've got a few more months of things to do, right? Instead of them all being the exact same period of time. Let's just kind of rotate things around here a little bit, try to make it easier, so. But anyway, that field is all done. The other field, we've got to get that lime put on the corners there that were missed. So we'll do that now. Need to move that trailer back over here too, but I think I'll just do that later on. I'm not too worried about it right now. It's not, I mean, like I said, nobody's coming to visit the brewery or anything like right now anyway, so it doesn't really make a big difference. We don't need things looking that tidy or anything like that. Anyway, after all of that abysmal mess, we'll leave the episode here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like, subscribe button in case you've yet to do so. They are free to do. Helps me out a ton. Thanks to my members for each and every single one of them for all of their continued support. It really does mean the world. If you want early access to videos like this one, there's a link down below where you can consider becoming a member as well. You get access to, like I said, every video, regardless if the thumbnails and stuff are done yet. You get access to it as soon as I'm done editing. I upload the videos. You also get a members only series that occurs once a month. Check out the second channel, check out the Discord, check out the shop. All those links are down below in the description for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thanks for the understanding as I struggle to get through this last month. And, yeah, we'll see you next time.